Well, we've reached that time of the year right after Thanksgiving when Americans are supposed to be shopping like maniacs. Black Friday, of course, the day after Thanksgiving, is when malls open early and there are big sales and people jam the malls, at least historically. But all of our data here at Gallup would suggest we're not going to see quite as much shopping activity this year as previously. Let me give you three trends from our Gallup poll daily tracking that substantiate this hypothesis that shopping will be down. First of all, the overall economic environment, consumer confidence, very negative. It fluctuates, got a little less negative right after the election, but back up in negative territory more recently. I mean, we're talking about 70 and 80% of Americans consistently classified as negative about the U.S. economy, and that's certainly not the kind of mental environment that would encourage people to get out and shop wildly for the holidays this year. Now, we have another measure where we ask Americans, did you worry about money yesterday? When this year began back in January, we were getting a third or maybe even slightly less of Americans who said yes, they worried yesterday. Then it held fairly consistently in the 30% range for most of the year, occasionally reaching 40, but not often. But in mid-September, we saw a jump. Where into the 40% range of Americans was consistent in our Did You Worry Yesterday measure. That's about a 10-point increase fairly consistently through September and October and into November. Now, there are some fluctuations. What you're seeing there right in front of you, as an example, is last week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, through the 21st of November, 47% of Americans on those 3 days, on average, told us they had worried about money yesterday. Then the numbers went down some over this past weekend, but generally, we're in an environment in which people are worrying more about money than they used to. Finally, we have our straightforward measure. How much money are you going to spend for Christmas shopping this year? Our number now in the low 600 range. That's the lowest we've ever seen it in November. Look at the trend line there. Last year, well up into the 800s, so you can see a big drop off there. And close to half of Americans now say they're going to spend less for Christmas shopping this year than they did last year. And that number, again, the largest we've seen in our history of asking the question. So I hate to put a damper on your spirits now after Thanksgiving, but our data would suggest, and this comes as no great shock given everything that we've followed and been talking about here at Gallup.com, that Americans simply aren't in the mood or don't have the wherewithal this year to spend as much on holiday shopping as they have in previous holiday seasons. I'm Dr. Frank Newport, Editor-in-Chief of the Gallup Poll.